You see, what is required, and I want to repeat this, is the realization that we cannot deliver a new Kenya,
the current system,
using the current leadership, the current crop of people we have. And Kenyans must have a departure, a complete break. And this is quite possible. It's a simple realization that these people will not deliver this country. So what do? We look for individuals who are not quite like these other people. But we own the process. But it can't be everybody. You see, it can't be everybody.
Herman, I want you to harp on this one.
Yes.
Own the process, what do you mean?
For example, let's use the Gen Z, for example. They came up with a sort of revolution. They were a revolution. Whether you like it, you can call it what you want to call it.
Yes.
But a revolution in the sense in which a revolution is a new radical way of doing things, which is always a major departure. Okay? So that was quite a revolution. The people behind that revolution can do exactly what you're asking, how it can be done. It must be in the manner of what happened, I think, in Senegal, and I'm giving an example of El Salvador, where people break with the so-called big political parties. A major break with established politicians, with established political formations. And the Kenyans know that through these people will never bother new Kenya. They see things in the same way.
And they're unlikely
that they will not change anything. If you ask any of them in this studio, what can you do that can transform this country? None of them has the answer. They see Kenya with Kibra and Kawangwara and that to them is normal. So you need a person who can come and say, within 10 years of my being president of this country, the worst place in Nairobi will be a place like Buruburu. That will be the lowest a human being can stay in. You know, there will be building, houses, a program to ensure Kenyans live like human beings.
Right.
You think these people can see like that?
I want to just jump in here because I think today is the day when just looking at what Kenyans have to say, that everybody keeps saying, why do we keep going back to the Gen Z why does everything that you say have to come from that Gen Z protest? Yes. And I'm of the opinion that marked a turning point for how Kenya does its business in terms of governance, in terms of politics, in terms of interaction, the accountability that you speak of. Maybe that's what was needed, and I think it will forever be in history books in terms of what happened on the 25th of June moving forward. And I want us to disabuse ourselves from the notion that it was it has become a thing of jest when we say, well, after all, look at the Gen Z. For me, it's actually a turning point. And if you look at history, in many nations, you will always have that one thing that clicked. And for me, I think
the underlying problems will always be there.
Absolutely, but that one thing clicked, and then you say, okay, hang on. It's possible to envision.
It's that opening the eyes. So two things. So those who think the Gen Z thing wasn't anything, Americans will tell them you ain't seen no nothing. That's number one. If you underrate that, then I just want to inform you, you are not informed properly. The second thing is, if, as I think, this thing has not died, which is the second thing, because people think it has died. If it has not died and it is reactivated, then people will see what I'm talking about. They will manage 2027 like they are just on Instagram. It will be like being on Instagram, like enjoying on TikTok. These guys have the potential to do things we will all be watching and just with our mouth open. How is this possible? They have the potential to deliver the 2027 election in the direction they want. All of us will be bystanders. First, they have the numbers. Okay? Two, they have organizational capacity that, as we saw, that is unimaginable. Okay? You saw how they organized in the digital space. We can't match them. Numbers, organizational capacity, consciousness. You see? They're not willing to accept the status quo, that they want a new Kenya, and they are determined about it. If you put all these things together And the fact that you cannot steal an election from them, tell me how they are not a force. This is the biggest force that, and in my understanding of history and literature, CTU, you belong to that space.
I do.
Change is always brought about by young people. They have the energy. There is some level of carelessness. CT Muga and I can't, which you have. You know, before I do something I care about.
How you think?
This is the wewe unaenda tu, wewe unaweka kifua mbele unaenda. It is that part of youth that brings change in Minnesota.